Okay, today we'll be looking at how you use sum if function to calculate based on a condition, right? So sum, just like we use a normal sum between a range to this and you get that. So, but then when you say sum if, that means you want to sum a number if it meets a particular condition, right? You want to sum a particular row if it's either a row or a column though, but if it meets a particular condition, that means you want to sort it out. So this is what you do here. So in this case, let's say we want to get the sum of numbers that are greater than 30, right? So let me just put it out there. I'll say sum of numbers greater than 30, right? And another thing I can put, say sum of numbers less than 30, right? Okay, so in this case, I'm going to use this. I'm going to call the function which is equals to sum if. So the range, which is the actual number the range of the values that I want to sum. So I'm going to highlight it from here, this is the particular range that I want to sum. Then the second criteria is the condition it has to meet, right? This is the exact condition you want to meet. So in this case, I'm going to put. Don't forget you have to put this in a quote though. In this case, because I'm going to say it has to be greater than 30, right? Greater than 30. So observe that I use greater than 30, just as it is. So the last thing there, which is a sum range, is optional. So I'm not going to be using it now. So I'll just close the bracket and I'll press OK. So the answer is 507. So let's look into it. Let's first use conditional formatting here to see numbers that are actually greater than 30. So numbers are actually greater than 30 so that we know which numbers are those. So the ones in red are greater than 30, right? So if you actually check it out and try to calculate all of this, you are going to get 507. So the sum of numbers that are less than 30, I can also find that. I'll say this is equals to sum if, and the range here will be all of the numbers, right? And then the criteria will be that's to be less than 30. So it's 69. So how many number is less than 30? Just 3. 23, all of those are 23, right? So you can have it all as 69. And you see, this is how you use SUMIF. You can even use it for you can use it for a range of numbers that are really much. And then it's going to give you all of this specific things that you want, right? So, but then this one we use sum if here, right? We use sum if. So let's say I want to, I want to do another thing. I'm going to say, uh, let's say I want to say sum of numbers greater than 30, but less than, let's say it's greater than 30, but less than 60. So what do we do here? Knowing that the sum if function only permits us to use, in the sum if function, we're only using just one criteria. But in this case, the sum of numbers need to be greater than 30 and it has to be also less than 60. So in this case, what you use is another function called SUMIFS. You see it's having a hash, right? So the SUMIFS gives you the opportunity to select insert multiple criteria. So in this case, I'm going to select the range. And I'm going to say the first criteria is the first criteria I'm going to be giving is that I'm going to say let me use this as sum of numbers that is greater than 30, right? So this is okay. I'll say where is it? Greater than 30. That is greater than 30. Then the second thing is greater than greater than 32, right? Or less than 60. Less than 60. So if I have this all up, oh, my formula is wrong. Oh, sorry. My formula is really, really wrong. So what I'll do here is I'll say So the sum range, I already have it selected. Now the criteria range, which is, which range am I putting up? I'm putting up the same criteria range too. So, but the first criteria I'm putting here is that it has to be it has to be greater than 30, greater than 30. Then the second criteria, which is the range, right? I'm selecting the same range also. And the criteria I'm giving it is that it is, less than 60. So I want it all summed up. So it's saying it is 173, right? So when you say 173, so how do we know numbers, some of numbers that are greater than 30 but less than 60? So let's see if we can actually use the conditional highlight to to check things out here. One that is less than, numbers that are greater than 30, right, but less than 60. So in this case, from the highlight, we will find numbers that are less than 60. Oh, sorry, I'm using the same color. So numbers that are less than 60, but in this case, we want them to be green. Let's say green. So numbers that are less than 50, numbers that are less than 60, right? So they are greater than 30, but less than 60. So in this case, we know 45, we know 42, we know 54. So if we are summing these numbers together, just basically having it as, if we are summing these numbers together, which is 54, 42, and 45. So let's have it all up to see what the thing is. We say equals to 54 plus 42 plus 45, and what is the answer? 141. So I think something is wrong. Say greater than 30. Which number is greater than 30 here? Okay, I think what we'll do is we'll find numbers that are greater than 30 first. Which number is here that is greater than 30? Highlight, so greater than 30. So if this number is greater than 30, we'll be able to print that out. So all of these numbers are greater than 30. So except that we have 54, which is less than 60. And we also have 42, which is less than 60. And we also have, we have 32. I think that's where that's where the error comes, right? There should be a way around actually getting this conditional formatting here to hit all of these rules. Let me say new rules and see what goes on here. I hope I can complete this. Use the formula. Okay, I'm not getting that particular thing I want to do, so that it becomes very easy for us to highlight the ones that are greater than, the one is greater than. Oh, good. So let's use the between. So we want to format cells that is between, basically is greater than 30, right? So we want it to be between 31 and 60. Between 31 and 60, right? So it has to be greater than 30. So it has to be 31 and let's say 60, right? So let's see what goes on here. 31, it's not formatting the way I want it to do. So highlights, I want it to be between, let's say 30 and 30 and 60. Then I want the highlights this time to be I want the highlight to be a yellow fill. So we see. So what number is there? We have 54, 32, 42, 45. So if you're actually summing these up, we should have 173. Everything being equal, we have this plus 32 plus 42 plus 45. So we should have 173. So 173 validates that our function is correct, right? So in this case, when you are summing up with one criteria, you just use this. But when it comes to multiple criteria, you can go up to many lengths as you want it. If you want different kind of criteria around it, you can go as many lengths as you want it, and you're still going to get everything right. So this is basically how you do. This is how you use the sum and SUMIFS function. And of course, there are several other cases that you'll be needing. You'll be needing you'll be needing the optional values here. So, but then this is the basics of how you use the SUMIF functions. And yeah, thank you very much. Have a nice day.